Hey, Leo, Mel, intuitive coach here. Excited to bring in your quarter three reading for July, August, and September 2025. If you are interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Leo, what is coming in here for you? Next 3 months, we have bottom of the deck, the Tower. All right, Leo, there is a rebuild taking place for you. You are building on more of a strong foundation. Something here wasn't working, therefore it may be collapsing. And I feel like it is for your highest good here. This is a massive rebuild that's taking place. And the rebuild is due to possibly a breakdown of a relationship. It could be a job that no longer fulfills you. It no longer brings you happiness. And that's why you are kicking off July with happy here, because you want to bring more of this into your world. You want there to be new opportunities that inspire you, that feel more passionate, that feel more honest when it comes to the truth of your being here. So there's a happy moment for you to fully embrace as we step into Leo season here. I mean, birthday balloons here. We show up in your sign towards the end of July. So this is a turning point. And the reason why it's happening now is because a lot of you are sun sign Leos, or you have strong Leo placements in your chart, and it's activating something deep within you where you're taking a look at where you've been and you are working through. It almost feels like raking through the mess, okay, that has come about due to some sort of tower moment. Just like you would clean up a yard after the leaves fall, right? Because the leaves go through a death and rebirth process like we all do. And you could be cleaning up the mess of a situation. And I see that through the raking of that mess, you're going to find that there's already new growth underneath those dead leaves. So something you're cleaning up over the next few months is going to bring about something brand new. And that's the clarifier here with the Wheel of Fortune and the Fool. The Fool reminds you to be spontaneous. Think outside the box. Step outside of your comfort zone here, Leo, because some of you have just been surviving. You have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is represented here by this Arctic fox. And the Arctic fox sometimes doesn't know any better because it's an Arctic fox meant to be in the confinements of the cold. And you've had to adapt to the cold because that's where you were brought up, or that's what you had been conditioned to believe. But what if that Arctic fox could also survive, and not only survive, but thrive in a sunnier environment? What if that Arctic fox could enjoy the springtime energy instead of feeling like it was winter year round? And I see that's happening here for you. Some of you feel like you've been missing out on life, the seasons of life, and you've been going through this never-ending cycle of winter. And that's what's shifting here for you. That's why this new beginning is coming in, because you also have the Wheel of Fortune. There is a big change here on the horizon, and I have a feeling this is a change that is going to bring in happiness. And some of you are like, wow, I didn't even realize that I was so stuck, or I didn't realize, because this is how I've been living for so long, I didn't realize that there's another way, until that other way shows up and really brings you happiness or really inspires you. And you're like, wait a second, I've been missing out on this. I've been missing out. How did I go my whole life? It's like trying a food that you haven't ate until you were 43. And you're like, what? This is the best food. How am I just now tasting it? That's kind of what I'm getting here for you, Leo. It feels like there is a turning point with this Wheel of Fortune. Some of you may have gone through a bit of a karmic loop, or a karmic relationship, or a karmic cycle with that Tower. And it may have It may have broken down the foundation in order for you to be reborn in a truer, authentic way, for you to fully show up to your own truth here instead of just surviving, instead of feeling like you had to walk on eggshells. Seven of Wands can also be feeling closed off, right? Feeling closed off to the good because we didn't know any better, or because that's what we started to believe, that we just have to stay. We have to stay in this environment, or this is how life is for me at this time. You know, I made my bed, now I got to sleep in it. But it feels like it's so much more than that here showing up for you, where spirit is turning that wheel. You have been working on turning that wheel because you and spirit are co-creating this magical reality together. And I see here that you are being asked here to think outside the box, to ask yourself, what else is possible? What is available, right? And you are thinking in a new way, in a higher way. You're expanding here, your consciousness, and it is fulfilling. It is bringing you a lot of joy, a lot of excitement, because nobody wants to be stuck in the Arctic cold. I mean, some people like that. I'm not one of them personally, but this is symbolically, it's rich in symbology here, where it's time for a seasonal shift. It's time for a change. And it's something that you are really getting a taste of. And once you get a taste of it, there's no going back. There's no going back, because you're going to order that time and time again. Not to the point where, you know, you become sick of it. It just feels like there's so much goodness that you want to wrap yourself up in that goodness. You want as much as you can of it. Now, in the month here of August, we have the fortune cookie, and it says not for you. To me, this tells me that there could be external or opposing energies, because you see there's a chess game there, which means there's somebody on the opposing team that may be trying to make a move. They may be trying to interfere with your happiness. And I feel like you are creating a boundary here, because you have the Nine of Wands. This is resistance, right? If it's resistance here, I feel like you're not going to let anybody in. It's like you've created this brick wall, maybe within the confinements of your own space. Now that you know what you want, now that something truly brings you happiness, you're not going to let those external energies try to bring you down. It reminds me of the story of the houses, right? The big bad wolf blowing down the pigs' houses. Is that the story? Oh, goodness. Where you build, right? The first house is built of straw. The second house, I forget what it's built of, something that could be blown down. And then the other house is built of brick. So there's something here that may have been blown down a few times for you. It may have been something that, you know, you had to learn. You had to learn through the wreckage. You had to learn through growth, through experiencing the downfall of a situation. But now it just feels like, yes, there may be opposing energies coming at you, but the way that you're handling them is different, because you have the Temperance here. So you're also calling in angelic presence. Some of you have ancestral wisdom that is showing up. It could also be part of your family, all right? This may be family dynamics where you are not letting people walk all over you. You are non-conforming here, and you're saying, I will live life on my terms. I am not going to be used. I'm not going to allow someone to enable me, right? I'm not going to allow my own mind to try to keep me limited in ways that, you know, hold me back, because you are meant to spread your wings. You're meant to shine here. You're meant to bring in joy and pleasure. That is your birthright, Leo. And because you have the Four of Swords, you're not going to grapple over this within the mind space, because sometimes we let people, places, or thoughts live rent-free in our minds, meaning we give way more attention towards that than we should. Right? Or we start to obsess about it, or we start to, you know, let that mind unravel in ways that aren't healthy. And you've been working a lot on bringing peace and stability into your world. So even though there may be something opposing you, maybe this is a court case, perhaps this is a family member. I mean, it's also a 6, and 6 in tarot is the Lovers. You may have a choice to make. And it could be based on conditional love versus unconditional love, right? What would love do? WWLD. Is that what it is? What would love do? Yeah. So remind yourself that in the month of August, when people are trying to break you down, or perhaps you are seeing a repeated pattern, because the Temperance is bringing in karma. And so there can be a pattern that is showing up for you, but I have a feeling you are showing up with more wisdom. You're showing up a version of you that is saying, wait a second, what I was doing in the past wasn't working, right? The big bad wolf came in and it blew down my house. It caused me to feel unstable in some way. And I just feel like you've created a boundary of protection around you. And it feels like you are safe here with the 4 of Swords. You will rest. You will put something to rest. You're going to put a karmic cycle to rest here. And that could clearly be what's no longer for you. Because the Wheel of Fortune is here, but the Fortune's cookie, right? Fortune cookie here is showing up as a good omen, right? It is a fortune nonetheless. So if something is being denied to you, or if you are denying something, I feel like you are doing so from a space of authenticity and compassion and inner truth. You may be rejecting the status quo. You may be making a move, but I feel like you're not doing it based in heavy emotions. It feels like logically here, you are in a good space. And that's where you want to be when it comes to making some decisions. You want to be in a good headspace. You don't want to let emotions override and then, come back on it and say, wow, I wish I would have reacted or responded when I felt more stable. And I see that you are calm. You're showing up with a calm demeanor here this month. It feels like the Temperance is bringing in a sense of tender love and care, and you're moderating as well, moderation. So it could even be that certain foods that you are eating, or it could be certain events that you have participated in, you may realize that, you don't love that anymore, or your body doesn't love certain foods. You may react in different ways. You may find that you can't do the same things that you wanted to do, or not that you can't do them, but you're choosing not to partake in them because they're not aligned with this newer version of yourself. Maybe in the past, going out a few nights a week and maybe getting a little tipsy, or, spending time with people who gossiped, or, it can be anything, of course, something that you had partook in, but it feels like you have evolved beyond that. It feels like you may be shifting your energies. They're becoming more sensitive as you are evolving. And so you're clearly making choices based on self-love here. And you are moving into this new energy, feeling revitalized, feeling like you're building something solid, something stable. And that's why the Tower is here as well. So in the month of September, you have one of my favorites here, exchanging gifts, Leo. Did I call you Cancer? I feel like some of you, I may have said Cancer. If so, I apologize. Maybe you're on that Cancerian cusp, or you have some Cancer placements. But you do have the gift card. And so this is your spiritual gifts, Leo. You may find that in the month of September, your gifts are expanding above and beyond. You may be ready to come out of the box here, right? You see the beautiful ballerina is popping out of that box, and she's dancing with joy and enthusiasm. This is a very powerful moment for independence, but also for you sharing your gifts with the world. There may be a blessing that is showing up for you because you've earned it, because you have matched and aligned your energy. And there's a marriage happening here of the internal and the external coming together. So this could be a dream of yours, a wish of yours, Leo, that you have put your mind on and you've taken the action steps. But I see there's a big win. There's a big celebratory energy coming in for you in September. And you have here the Seven of Swords, the Sun, and the Hanged Man. This is a powerful combination because you are now seeing things from a new point of view. You are seeing things from an honest point of view. The Seven of Swords is saying you're not going to betray yourself. You will never abandon yourself. Some of you may have felt abandoned in the past, or you may have felt like people weren't honest with you. There may have been deception in family origins here or between you and friends, or maybe you were in denial around a situation. And it just feels like you are showing up this time around in truth and authenticity. You're releasing perfectionism. You are releasing people-pleasing behaviors here, and you are showing up in all of your glory. This is a huge glow-up time for you. And Leo, because we are, in the midst of Leo energy over the next 3 months, I definitely see that there is a spotlight moment where your life, there may be an area of your life. Maybe this is your career. Perhaps this is your love life. Maybe this is a business of yours, or it could even be your health. There is a message here of something being on display that is showing up for you to take to the next level, for you to put it out there into the world. And I see the Sun card here saying great times lie ahead. Some of you are really starting to enjoy yourself, the company that you keep, the work that you are doing. You're feeling more fulfilled. You're feeling revitalized. You may be paying more attention to your body, getting more exercise, getting into some good spiritual routines and practices. And you could also be spending time with your children, your pets, getting out in nature. There may even be a bit of travel over the next few months. And I see that you're exactly where you are meant to be. And it hasn't always been an easy ride for you, Leo. Not with that tower. You've had to rebuild a lot because it feels like just when you started to feel like things were improving, right? Then that big bad wolf would come in. Right? That devil energy, some sort of conditions were put on a situation. And that's why the Lovers is showing up here as well. Or excuse me, not the Lovers, but what would love do? I am getting that love energy here. So it feels like you are choosing self-love. You are choosing to embrace healthier options. I feel like this fortune cookie, it says no on the fortune cookie, so I feel like this is a clear boundary saying this is my dance space, this is yours. But Spirit is actually showing me a fortune cookie that is blank. A fortune cookie that is blank here. So some of you may actually open up a fortune cookie in the coming months. Maybe you go to a restaurant, or maybe you like to buy the bags of fortune cookies, or maybe this is something that you see online, but it feels like it's a blank fortune. And to me, that is you creating your own destiny. And I'm actually going to pull a card on that here. I'm going to pull out the Tower because that was at the bottom of the deck. But Spirit, please tell me about this blank fortune cookie. It's almost as if you get to create your own destiny here. Oh my goodness, there it is, the Star. You have the Star here. The Star is your dreams. The fortune cookie that I'm seeing in my mind's eye that is blank, I would say if it was a fortune, a little written quote on there, it would say, never give up on your hopes and dreams, because the stars are aligning. You now have an understanding of why you had gone through what you've gone through. You have strengthened your resilience. You have strengthened in your own truth, your own authenticity. And it was a struggle to get there, Leo, right? It was a difficult period of your life. And some of you may still be rebuilding, because guess what comes after the Tower? The Star. So this is a beautiful confirmation from Spirit, is that you are recovering here. You're recovering financially. Some of you may be recovering from heartbreak. You could be recovering from a job loss, or a health issue. There may have even been, oh, the Spirit says there may be a surgery. There could be a second surgery. I'm just going to bring that out here. Some of you, so for example, maybe you had like knee replacement surgery, or you had some work done in your mouth, maybe some dental work. You may have to go back in for like a second procedure or like a second filling. It feels like there's going to be something that you have to revisit, but it feels like the second time everything is cleared and you're able to fully recover here without issues. So please take that as it resonates. It's for those of you that already know that you've had something ongoing or something is lined up over the next 3 months to get another look at. I also am getting here with the gifts. Now, because we are in Leo season for the month of July and August, some of you are going to treat yourself, which you absolutely should. Treating yourself, and that can mean anything. Maybe you're treating yourself to a day off, no responsibilities. Maybe you're just laying in the hammock. Maybe you're going to the beach, whatever this is for you. And hopefully you find many times throughout the course of the next 3 months to treat yourself, and it looks like you will. But I'm also getting another message here. It feels like you are being gifted something very expensive. Now, it certainly could be expensive in money, like monetarily, it may be expensive, such as like a nice pair of earrings, or it could be like a nice, whatever it is, it could be expensive. But what I'm getting here is the value. The value of it is worth more than gold. It feels like you are being gifted something here by another individual potentially that feels invaluable. And I see here that you will be very, very grateful for this gift. And you may even say, I can't accept this, or this is too much. But I feel like it is important that you embrace the energy here. It is embracing and receiving is what I would say, Leo. Something is coming your way. And I just feel like this is such a blessing. All right. What else do we have here for you? I want to take a look. There was one energy that I wanted to take a deeper look at. Okay, before we move on to the final part of your reading, I'm going to take a quick peek at the chess game here, because we see that there are two sides. There's an opposing side here. And if you've ever played the game of chess, now I'm no chess master, but there's a king and a queen, and there's, bishops, and there's other players in the mix here. And usually I believe it's the bishops that protect the king and the queen. So there's something here about you are protected, like you have spiritual helpers that are protecting energies. But I just want to take a look at these opposing views. Why is this showing up in the month? Oh gosh. Wow. In the month here of August, you have the Death card and the Moon. Maybe this is someone that you have cut off contact with. It could be someone who maybe secrets of some sort had been exposed. Okay, with that death energy here, because this is, a new beginning. After every ending comes a new beginning. And the Moon card here says that you were uncertain. There was a foggy time that you had gone through with this energy here. And it feels like there's an ending coming in. Either it's in the month here of August where you are cutting something off and saying, okay, now the truth is out. I'm able to move forward here. But right behind it, you have the Ace of Cups. So yeah, there's your new beginning, and you have the Page of Cups here behind the Death card, because you want something emotionally and intuitively fulfilling. And it feels like whatever this opposing energy was, it wasn't bringing that. It actually left a bit of a hole in your cup, meaning that no matter what they were pouring into, the cup here, it just feels like it had that bottomless hole where it couldn't be filled. It wasn't satiating. It wasn't like feeding you in some way that was positive. It just feels like there was a lot of heaviness, a lot of secrets here. But the Moon is about trusting your intuition. And I feel like your intuition knows that something is closing up for you. Something is not for you. So I like the clarifier, because underneath both of these huge major arcanas, Leo, you have the Ace and the Page of Cups. So underneath it, There's some big transitions, big milestones. And it's interesting to note, you didn't have any major arcanas coming in for the month of August, but now I see why, because you have two of them here and you've already gone through this. Some of you, this is something you've already gone through. And it could be that past energy coming back, seeing like, oh, hey, Leo's doing great. Let's see if we can kind of snake our way in, or let's see if we can get more from Leo, or, it just feels like you have learned. You've learned and you're trusting your intuition, and you may even dream about this happening or see it happening before it does. So something's not for you. There's a new door opening, Ace of Cups right behind it. So trust in that inner path. All right, let's get a few messages here, quotes, phrases. And for those of you Leos who would like to be entered into the free monthly reading giveaway, all you need to do is drop in the comment section below your favorite quote, phrase, or saying. Drop it below. I'll enter you into the giveaway where I draw one winner around the first of the month and post right back here on the community tab. So please be sure to hit that subscribe and bell button if you haven't already, so that does show up on your feed. Okay, now I want to mention for the Q2 readings that I did a few months back, I also asked the same question, and someone had commented, thank you if you are that someone. Someone had posted their favorite saying, and that saying stuck with me, and it actually motivated and inspired me to start a new routine, a morning routine of getting outside and hitting the hiking trails at 6 a.m. And the quote was, one day or day one. And so I want you to not only drop your own favorite quote below, but feel free to check out other commenters. What other people, what inspires other people, because you never know, you may bring in that inspiration for someone else. And because that quote stuck with me, I chose to repeat that to myself every day. One day I can choose to get out in nature at 6 a.m. and go hiking. One day I will incorporate this into my life. One day, or day one. We can start today. We can get up earlier. We can start this routine right here, right now. And that's what it did. It inspired me. So thank you, Soul Tribe, for helping me as much as hopefully I help you. All right, let's get to these quotes here. You have within you right now everything you need to deal with whatever the world can throw at you. Yes, you do. You have everything you need. Brian Tracy. Next you have, in seeking happiness for others, you will find it in yourself. You know what's interesting, Leo? Almost every sign has received this so far, this very quote. This tells me that we are all shifting our vibration. There's a collective heartfelt wave that is flowing over the collective at this time that is waking us up to our happiness, to our truth, to be kind to others, to live by the golden rule, to treat others the way that you want to be treated. And I see here that by you seeking out happiness in your own life, and even though there may be people who are no longer in your world, you don't have to wish the worst for them. I feel like you are seeing them from a higher perspective now, and you want them to be happy as well. You want them to grow. You want them to evolve. You may be giving gratitude for the role that they've played in your life. You may be making choices in the next few months to honor your own happiness and maybe theirs by choosing to exit contracts so you can begin new ones. Next, you have this life, this night, your story, your pain, your hope. It all matters. All of it matters. Jamie Twarkowski. All of it matters. Everything that you've ever gone through in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, has brought you to this moment in your life. And you can either let it define you, limit you, right? It's going to define us, right? It defines all of us, but how it defines you is up to you. Can you use your past as a catalyst to launch you into becoming a better version of you. One of my favorite quotes is, you can become better or bitter. The choice is yours. It is never too late to be what you might have been. George Eliot. Sometimes we feel defined by age. We feel defined by money. We feel divine, right? Defined by not having the support. But where there's a will, there's a way. And if it is meant for you, you will move towards that energy, right? It will show up for you, but you must take action as well. And sometimes we got to get out of our own way. We tend to fill ourselves up with a million excuses of why we can't, but all you need is that mustard seed of faith to tell yourself why you can, because something here is showing up for you, not to you. Life is happening for you. And lastly, you don't have to be perfect to be amazing. For those of you that may struggle with perfectionism, for maybe fear of failure, or maybe even imposter syndrome, this is for you. This is saying here, show up in all of your truth, Leo, all of your authenticity. Get honest with who you are. Don't let those lies, don't let the old conditionings of the past that have limited you hold you back. You don't have to be perfect to be amazing. You are already amazing. You take off the masks, right? That 7 of Swords here. Take off the mask and reveal what is underneath it. Underneath it is a perfectly imperfect you. And I feel like you are shining your light out into the world, and you are connecting to others who are also matching your vibration. This is a beautiful quarter 3, for you to show up in all of your messiness, right? All of the good and the challenges and the struggles, to show up and know that you are doing your very best, and you are still breaking through and choosing to become better, not bitter. And I feel like this is one of the most impactful quarters of the year for you, because you are choosing to align with the things that are meant for you, instead of feeling like you have to go back and repeat, the cycles in some way, right? You are choosing to build stronger boundaries to protect your own peace, your own integrity, and not let whatever that big bad wolf is in your life. Maybe it is external energies. Maybe that big bad wolf exists within your own mind. I feel like you are getting in control of you. And there are happy times ahead, success ahead, accomplishments ahead. And I see here a lot of sunshine. So some of you could even be visiting a place that's sunny, or you live in a place that's sunny. If you're in the northern hemisphere, chances are you're in the summertime. So I see here that there's a lot of really beautiful energies coming in. And I'm also getting lavender fields. Okay, that's random. Some of you could be like growing lavender fields, visiting them, passing them by, or maybe you're growing your own lavender, making your own products. That could be the green light. It feels like you are being asked here to show up in a way that maybe you haven't before. Like, show up shaking. Even if something scares you, even if something intimidates you, you have the ability to face it head on. And that's another message that this chess game is bringing you, because you don't want to be put on pause thinking about your next move, because chess is already a long enough game, right? If we were to pause, man, we would be in this for 3 decades. And I feel like you've already been strategizing. You've already been planning. Now is the time to make your move. Now is the time for you to open yourself up to the possibilities that life is bringing in. Thank you so much, Leo. I hope this resonates. Don't forget to drop your favorite quote, phrase, or saying below to be entered into that free reading giveaway. And happy birthday to those of you sun sign Leos out there.